We're live. Welcome back to Livestream Takeover, episode 211. 211. Matt is not going to be here the whole episode. He might be able to pop in, but not 100% sure on that. So this week, I did get a guest, which is going to be fun. It will be the first appearance from an official JConcepts employee and RC fanatic. So that's going to come up here just in a little bit. I do need to make sure that I send him the invite for that. So that is what we're going to kick off. Matt doing a little bit of travel this week, so that's obviously why he can't attend. Otherwise, he'd be here. It's not his go-karting season yet. That's not for a handful of more weeks, but we're going to start there. Appreciate everybody for joining. I don't know, whatever. What do we say every week? Check in where you're watching from. And if you've yet to adopt the bubbly lifestyle, because that's, we know he's at practice. Exactly. He's just out there turning laps just to see. So, yes, that's going to be fun. I had said in the scale news that I was going to be, that I'd have I tried to get a guest and think of something. And I didn't have anything lined up until I was getting a haircut today. And I was at the barber and had the, I go in and I get like the fancy, like straight razor shave because it makes me feel all fancy. And I was like, oh, I know exactly who I'm going to shoot a message over to. Luckily, I got a quick response and a committal. Worked out. One thing I'm going to do quickly is I need to send over the invite to him. I told him around 6:30 my time, but we'll see. Maybe we do that sooner or not. We'll figure that out. Actually, I can probably just get him the info there. So that's anyway. They were good there. What Radio Master and I have both of these going on right now. Where did that go? There, that one. What Radio Master MT12 ELRS or 40? I have both, but I am really only using the ELRS version. I really like it. I like the range and the abilities that it has. The receivers are super small, nice and compact. The telemetry back and forth with it is awesome. So I'm just rolling with that one. The 4-in-1 is the reason I was all excited about it in the first place, but I literally haven't even, I don't know if I've even powered it up. Maybe once here or there. I know I used it to do my 3D scan, but that was about it. Other than that, I just have stuck with the ELRS version and love it so far. Did I bring in? I didn't. I should holler for Nicole to do that. So no Nicole as usual. Yeah, the ELRS has better receivers and you can put formal module on it, but yeah, the module is huge, so it's like probably not something I would. I don't like the look of myself. I do have it and it looks ridiculous. So, but I get the point of it for certain applications. So, the ELRS thing is too good. Hardbar explained the guy isn't a creeper, is he? Sending hate from Washington State. I don't think so. Although he is from the Northeast, so like inherently, I'm weary. Like, we'll have to get the full story. I have met this individual a number of times. I have given him plenty of ribbing. Even today, got him a message. He's like, here's my email address to get this out. And it was a Yahoo email address. I immediately judged him. I said, of course. Yeah, I want to know how many of you are using a Yahoo email address? And if you are you young? Are you eligible for AARP? I just want to know. That's just saying. Yahoo email addresses, immediate red flag. I use one for junk mail. I hope that's about it. Because I use Telegraph. Telegraph and Yahoo email, basically the same thing. That's super, super cool. Hotmail. Oh my. Has he watched Flying Cars? Oh, that's going to be a great question, Matthew. Even- uh, and of course, he just responded that his. Hold on one moment. We're gonna get this all set up for him. Oh, that's not gonna work either. Go through. Hold on one second. Here we go. ARP birthday was yesterday and got an ARP letter in the mail today. Congratulations, Troy. And happy belated birthday. Hold on just a second. Oh God. Freaking Yahoo. Send anyway without Gunner. Get her. Gunner, my meat belongs in your mouth. And thank you very much. Hello, all. Tonight's code hashtag sticked with or hashtag left on red. Also use the code hashtag cowboy10 for 10% off cowboy jerky. There's a number of reasons why that is funny. Yes, Gunner, I do remember that you text me yesterday. I read it and I was going to respond, and then I didn't, and that is common for me. But don't worry, we know that can work out. Hi, Josh, can you send the invite on AIM? ASL. God, just saying. That's gonna. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Dana. I'm going to pin this. I can't pin it on Matt's side, but I'm pinning the message over here. You can go to satisfiedjerky.com and use those codes to save 10% on Satisfied Jerky, or you can save an additional 10% even then on Cowboy Jerky. So 20% because 10 plus 10. Most of you can do that with your shoes on. Justin Camler, thank you very much. Show us your new rig. New rig? Oh, the new one I'm building? It's in the garage. I cannot show that currently. The only thing I can show is the other side of the template that I needed to finish the stuff that was in that jig. I forgot to mirror this side. This is the A pillar, the top of the roof, and then the C pillar. And I forgot to print the mirrored one, so I can only do one side. Man, but I'm going to get this hopefully on there tonight. Get that, and then I can take that whole chassis out of the jig and be able to work on the last phase of the jigs before I do the plate work, which I think it's going to be pretty good and super fast. So overall, just doing this chassis is so much faster than the last one, which I think is going to make it a great build along, which we'll discuss. Let's discuss that a little bit before we bring on our guest, who he's in the lobby right now. I can see him standing there, sitting there, but I haven't added him yet. So I'm just going to make him sit there a little while longer while we discuss this. So we're going to do the build along with the new moon buggy cage. I've been the only way you would have seen it is if you follow my Instagram, where I've been posting some reels. I came up with a new design that basically makes building a moon buggy super easy, super fast. If of course, I am doing it with a TIG, which makes these jigs work the best. If you don't, then you would use it to fit, and you would still have to braze outside of it. But if any of you are interested in building a moon buggy, I think that this would just make things a million times easier for you. And I think that it's going to be fun to get these posts up. I'm going to build one first before I post the build off or the build along. And then I'm going to build a second one for Matt, or maybe that one will be mine, since it'll be, we'll see. But I'm hoping to have that going maybe in the next couple of weeks or something like that. And I have to figure out exactly how I'm going to post it or where, because I think I'm still going to limit the number of people. I'm not going to just open it wide open. That's are they going to use a VFD skid? They are going to use a custom skid. It's going to be 3D printed skid for the most part. You'll either be able to 3D print it yourself or have it like SLS printed, something along those lines. And that will, but all of the files will be provided, so you'll be able to get everything done, because you'll need some send cut send stuff, the files for me, and skid plate files, those type of things. Usually do it via a Discord server, and I think that is going to make it a that's another just fun part of it. Just everyone's trading photos and progress back and forth, and go from there. So the D'Artagnan. Where's the Josh dance stickers? If you didn't catch the Tuesday live on the Vanquish show, we were discussing the stick radios and how last time I tried to use it was like 2007, 2008. Anyway, and the problem I was having is that when you have both hands on a stick radio, sometimes it's harder to balance yourself, and I would like fall down and like use the radio to catch myself. It's just very hard to like wobble around on the rocks while both hands are on a stick radio. Ridiculous. But enough of that. Let's bring on our guest, see if he's ready for the mass amounts of crap I'm going to give him. But let's see if his audio. My audio's on the wrong audio. There it is. So this is Robert. Robert, introduce yourself, sir.
How you guys doing? I am Robert Pezza. I am also owner, Scale Rat, but I also work for JConcepts as the marketing and product developer. Now, I've only been in that position for a month.
Doesn't matter.
Very soon, you're going to be seeing some changes.
You bear the weight of all previous decisions.
Yes, I do.
Nothing will slide. Everything I can think of is going to be on your shoulders.
Yes, it is.
Now, you and I have met twice or 3 times?
3 times.
Axial Fest, Pearling by the Fire, and
Axial
Pearling
Fest.
by the Fire. Was it Axial Fest twice? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Pearling by the Fire twice or Axial Fest. So yes, we've hung out a handful of times. Joked around before. Yes. Although you've been doing work for JConcepts for some time.
Yes.
I guess we'll just do this like a traditional boring interview. What got you started in? No. How long have you been doing RC?
23, 24 years.
So a long time. When did you get into the actual scale side or crawling side, as more of now? This
about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. 5 to 7 years ago.
Yeah, time flies. Like,
yes,
I think 5 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's around like 2015. Like, no, it's 2019. Like, how did that happen? So, yeah, I mean, that amount of time isn't that long in this, especially for how much stuff you've already put out in our area, because you're working. I've seen your stuff with RC Car Action a lot as well.
Yes.
So, how did that all work out?
So with that was about 4 years ago, where I met Lee at the Ultimate Scale Trek Expo, USTE, down in Florida.
Yes.
And I was introduced to Lee, and we've just hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. And he gave me a couple of projects, just to test things out, see how it would go through. And they fell in love with it, fell in love with the work that I do, the paint, custom, styrene, 3D printing, all of that.
Now, were you painting before the scale side, or is that something you just dove into once you started?
That I've always painted, but not to the Class 0 dollhouse style. That I started about 5 years ago.
Yeah, that I can see that. Even if you're familiar enough around paint, I guess it. I don't know. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Hard Bark Spleen, thank you. Can Robert name body the spleen, please? are you working now? Are you able to walk into somebody's office at JConcepts now?
Yes. Well, at this moment, no.
No, not now. On a regular day.
On a regular, yes.
Gotcha. Do you know where the circuit breakers are in the building? Like
Yes,
whoever's office it is that names bodies. Can you just go turn his computer off? No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's part of the company that I'm looking to make a big impact on. I'm strictly just in the crawler / monster truck division. So
that seems like a big part of it, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's about time. It's just they've always had people that were tinkering around with crawlers, but now they have somebody that's 100% dedicated around crawlers for life, you know. And I've given them a lot of information. They've loved what I've mentioned. A lot of changes had been made after things that, you know, I had mentioned, like the Warlord.
The
and
Warlord, that was the new
for,
like Jeep-esque or Jeep truckish body, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that one lately it's been our biggest hit. Everybody's loving it.
It's a good looking body.
Yeah.
Which not something we always say.
I know. I know. It's even better when you put it on a chassis with the wrong links.
Yeah. I mean, you're an innovator with your innovative link geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we should just get that one right off the bat.
I'm here. Truck. I'm taking the punches. Let's go. So now that one, I'll take the blame for that one because that actually happened before I got there. But I was the last person that held that in his hands and did not notice it. So I'll take the blame for that one.
Yeah, that's George Rock Zombies. Thank you. But I don't know if that's Scott or one of the others, but
that might be Corey Allen.
Okay, yeah, Corey. I know Corey as well. So, that was a fun for as good of a. I was like, oh, it's a good body. Oh, but.
And as soon as you did that, I froze, and I'm like, what happened? Well, like enhancing, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then there you go. I was happy. I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie, I may have used a couple of bad words, and I'm like, I swear, the junk punch joke is gonna happen. It's just, but it was good.
Did you guys update that product photography yet, or is it just okay? That's good.
Yes,
glad to hear that.
Love photos.
So, hey, I'll accept that. That's perfectly reasonable. Now you're down in Florida because that's where JConcepts is, but you're not from the area. Right?
No, I'm originally from New York.
Yeah, we can tell.
It happens sometimes. Yeah. But on a daily, I live with alligators, wild monkeys, parrots, and stuff like that. It's a whole new, different country here in Florida.
Yeah, so. Yeah. No, I mean, I love Florida. So, how long have you been down there?
I've been here for 20 years.
Ooh, okay. So nothing new.
No.
But now the scale world in Florida, well, rock crawling world, at least in Florida, that can be a little difficult. Coming from the Midwest, I mean, I know it can be hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to be into like an area like this, so like dedicated when you don't have the terrain to like. And
we have coral rock though.
Yeah.
So you have to dig really deep for it, and it'll get there. But we also have lime rock. So if you learn to climb on lime rock in the morning dew and still able to get traction, you can pretty much crawl anywhere.
That was Nebraska. We just had rip wrap courses basically stacked and put however. And it's like, that's what you get. You gotta work around, crawling in holes all the time. But let's see. Can Robert do a Star Wars themed truck already? Star Wars Attic 70s, of course.
I'd be more than happy to.
Of course. Still have not seen Star Wars. So
no,
never seen one. George Rock. Can we get a 77 Ford F1? Oh, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad.
No, it's not.
That
I'll take notes.
My wife. Does JConcepts have a dartboard with Josh's face on it in the office? You know what? I would fully understand it, and I get it.
No, actually, no. In the office, they know who you are, and they love what you have to say. Sometimes it actually pushes things a little bit forward. And then, when I told them, like, yeah, I'm messaging him right now, and they're like, oh, cool. We didn't know you knew him like that. And I'm like, yeah. And he sends his love.
Yeah. It has. So JConcepts didn't really have any crawler specific bodies until, what would it have been not until the last 4 or 5 years, probably 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, around that.
Something like that, I guess. I remember I used the, I don't remember what it was called, like bog hog. It wasn't the bog hog body, but something like that. As a crawler body, and I cut out like the rear cage section.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I believe it was the one that you sure it wasn't the bog hog?
Is that what it's called? Maybe I just couldn't remember what the name was, but yeah,
I believe so, because it was like a creeper.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved the style. Now, of course, we've got the creeper, which is super popular.
Yeah.
The tucked versions of like the F-250 and I remember which other ones you guys have. There's a Ford, isn't there? Or there's a Ford and a Chevy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm testing you. Yeah, I just want to see.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You want to hate, you got to know.
The Lloyd, the all-time favorite. Now that's, I think, a monster truck body first, though.
Yeah.
And we just got to do still one of my favorite releases ever. But if obviously, since you're in there, hopefully they're looking to be even more in that area. The tire options from JConcepts have been growing, and even some of the most popular for a while now. The ruptures are, of course, the killer, called a non-scale but killer tire for our area. The Tusks are then probably right there with it.
Yes,
but that's
our most popular is going to be the ruptures, Tusks, then megalithics, and then landmines.
Oh, the megalithics! I forgot about the newest one. Yeah, the landmines I've ran as well. I liked those tires also.
Yeah,
I've got Tusks. I like those. The Tusk works really well. I just don't love like the Mickey Thompson style. It's just like a personal thing, but you can't deny that they work really well. Oh, just that whole side, hopefully you guys keep going with more options. Now, JConcepts has never done licensed, right? With tires.
Not on tires.
On any tire monster truck either?
No.
Oh, interesting. So that's whether or not that's in your guys' future.
It's a work in progress.
Always. Yeah. No. Always. Like Indy Bama, thank you very much. Love to see an 80 to 86 Ford F-150 step side.
Step side? Yeah, I can see that.
I can get by with step sides. That doesn't turn me too bad. It's JConcepts planning any Volvo body. Michael Rack. Listen, you've got a customer north of the border that's just waiting, and other than that,
just the one. We'll do it just for you.
But the Tusk is an actual tire. No, it's not. It's modeled after an actual tire. The Tusk is not a tire. But yes, I know what you mean, and that's what I was saying. That Mickey style, but not licensed. What we're saying. So yes. Now the other side of things that we've talked about before the JConcepts official section is that you're also a what would you call yourself? A Ripper broker. That's there we go. That's the word for it.
Yes, it would be myself and Mario Rodriguez, really good buddy of mine.
Yep. So
anytime, like if a new Ripper hits the market, mine and his phone just blows up. I'm like, hey, is this legit? Is this real? Is this the last person that owned it? Questions, and it's like, all right, and then we have to authenticate it and then create its value, and oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because it's there's a whole little world of that goes on behind. It's, I think, the most fun part about when any Ripper goes up for sale. Like, of course, we'll all get it sent to us 10 times. Yep. You see this? You see it? Like, yes, I saw it. But my favorite part about any of them is just all of the comments of all of the other people. I'm like, I'll just go through those.
Yeah. And my favorite part, like, they say, hey, I have this Ripper and I want to post it. I'm like, are you sure you want to post it publicly? Let me go ahead and reach out to about 15, 20 people privately first.
Let's just do it this way.
Out there, you're gonna get beat up, and it's pretty bad.
So. Yeah, you know what? I like Bookie sounds just with his accent. I think we should just call him a Ripper Bookie, because
Bookie's collecting the money. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to be in the middle guy.
You can't say you're not skimming with that accent. We all know better.
I am, so it's all right.
The Vig, you know, it's the Ripper Whisperer. Yes. Now you own one yourself.
Yeah.
Or two yourself.
I had 3, sold 2, have 1.
Okay. So which one do you have currently?
I have one that I'm not allowed to talk about publicly.
Oh, I know which one it is then. Any chance of making wheels, tires, or bodies for the mini LMT? Oh, now that seems like right up JConcepts alley. So Wheelman FPV, the mini LMT. Now, of course, it's just like when anybody asks us, like, I can't imagine you're going to say anything about a new product, even if it's around the corner. Like, you don't do that.
No.
So
but my face gives it away.
I know. I'm happy to accept your $5 Wheelman FPV, but I have to imagine. Yeah. Now, Robert's just still has a real bad poker face. He hasn't practiced it as much yet. Then that's not on me. So
I smile at everything though, so it's like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Ripper side of things is always fun conversations, fun. I think that's what the first time we ended up discussing.
Just in case anybody's assuming that I have a V2, I don't yet.
There's no such
but I
thing.
do have a nice place in my office that's gonna be it. So, that's another private conversation.
A Ripper that cannot be spoken about? Yes, but we know why. Because so yeah, the Ripper side of things is always fun. Just the small community of people that live behind, like, just that wall of the private group.
It's great. It is great.
It is.
I love those guys.
Yeah. No, it's always been. I don't think we've ever had anything like weird or beef pop up in there.
We all look out for each other just in case there's somebody out there trying to scam, because there's been a couple of guys that were posting Rippers for sale trying to bait somebody in, and we all look at each other like, no, I don't think so.
Like, that's not real. That's not his.
We hit it first. We tell everybody, like, nah, this isn't believable. So,
yeah, that's absolutely.
When you see stuff, we're looking out for everybody as well.
Right. Yeah, it you know, I've seen it a few times, and it's always just like, well, that's interesting. It's such a wild thing to try and scam, but if they can get a bunch of money out of somebody. So
I mean, just put a lowball offer out there for like 3,000, and
exactly.
People will be like, "Whoa, a Ripper for $3,000! Let me throw it! Like, I can't throw my wallet fast enough at you." And it's like, it's gone.
Like, I'm just gonna drive there and pick it up, okay?
Yep. Something like that. I'll fly in and pick it up.
Yeah, like let's just
meet you at the airport.
Yeah, somehow they're never available. But so yeah, the this year, as far as events and things like that go, USTE didn't happen this year because it would have happened last month, right?
Yep.
So what do you guys have coming up on the East Coast side? You going to do Beat the Creek?
Yes, we're going to be at Beat the Creek. Then after that, we're good until June. So then we're gonna go to Badlands. But right before that, we have the Bigfoot Open.
Okay, monster truck side. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, now that I imagine has to be another busy season. That something that doesn't even kind of hit my radar.
I mean, right now we're pretty slammed with just track stuff. I mean, it's nonstop. Everybody's running around with the head cut off.
Track stuff, meaning monster truck or meaning race?
Race.
That okay, but yeah, how involved in that, or how, even if it's not your normal day to day, like you get drug into things at these.
Yes.
Imagine. So, which makes sense. It happens at any of these types of places. But what are you doing on that type of side when you do get drug into it?
It's more of helping out with inventory real quick, just making sure that these tires need to get shipped out to these racers and communicating to them. And I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what difference between the carpet and dirt, and I'm like, is this what you want? Here you go.
This is not my world. I don't know.
No. But that's it. I mean, to that extent, they know that. I just don't know enough on that side. Like, I'm here for crawlers.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's nice that they're able to say that you can do that. Like, just say, no, this side, don't worry about the rest. Because when you have to try and do all of it, you end up not being able to do any of it as well.
Right.
But yeah.
But then sitting on the computer, doing some graphic design work also on top of the CAD work. So you'll start seeing some new artwork coming out soon.
I'll be sure to note it. So it'll be fun to see. How long have you been officially at I know you sent me an email not too long ago, but I saw it from you and I didn't really read it that well.
It was a week before that.
Okay.
I have no idea. It's been about, we'll say a month.
I was gonna say it's been pretty recent.
About a month. Yeah.
It's been pretty recent. So
and y'all know Josh still never answered my email, by the way. He just said I emailed him. He never answered me. But he'll sit here and talk about it. It's cool.
I saw it. I noted it. I was like,
I saw it, I noted it, and here we are 2 weeks later.
Yeah, that's about how I'll get to that on my list. But I think we messaged after that, and I said, yes, I got it. And then
that's it.
Is that all I said?
That's all you said. I got it. I noted it. That's it. I'm like, cool. Thanks.
That's great to know.
I think I just sent you a thumbs up too. I was just like, you know what? Yeah.
Perfect. I'm 100% great with that. Then I can just be like, excellent, done. Close. One less message that I have to respond to. I love the thumbs up button. But as soon as the new website's up, I'm not setting you up now and then setting it up again. Doing it once. Next Tuesday is the go live date for the new Vanquish website.
Got it.
And I'm pulling my hair out, trying to make sure that everything is in order for that. And that is it's going. I'm missing a couple here. Let's see. Outlaw Farmers RC, thank you. KCH has 2 rivers for sale. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is? Key City Hobbies.
Oh yeah. Got it.
Yeah. I have no idea.
AJ does.
There's always ones for sale, whether or not they're posted. There's always for sale. You just have to. You
gotta know a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Find him in a dark alley behind a bar, and George Rock's.
I'll go with you.
Halloween Hauling Crawl 6 in October. October. That seems like forever away, but also September.
It's going to come up pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this year we've got NERSA again, of course, in Vegas, and I can't remember. JConcepts has done NERSA before.
Yes.
So, are you going to get to try and make that trip in Vegas?
No, I'm not going to make that one. That's usually the CEO and COO.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I've talked to them. I thought it was a couple of ladies last year. I couldn't remember.
Yep, that's COO.
Oh, nice lady. I didn't know that.
I'll ask, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's the just a few days before Proline by the Fire is the reason.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, it's just, and then it's only a couple hours away. So
I thought Nerd Show was normally in like November.
It kind of moves around October, September timeframe.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's happened 2 years ago. It was just a few days before as well. This year it's landing that way again. So
okay,
it's like the Tuesday, Wednesday before Proline by the Fire. So it makes for a kind of just a quick little.
Well, as of right now, no, maybe later.
Yeah,
I may take a vacation and go anyways.
Yeah. Do you even crawl with all the time you have? I do crawl just on the weekends and sometimes for work, because then it's also a bonus. So, but yeah, I stay busy. I stay very busy, but that's the fun part about this stuff. Now we've got let's see, right before or right at, I think it's right before Badlands, we're going to have the We Are Sea Rock Nationals in Colorado. So in the Denver area, that one's going to be a fun event. I don't think I'm going to do Badlands. I was going to try and do Badlands again, or Badlands this year for the first time, but I always say again because I keep wanting to try it, but still have not made it.
Come on.
I know, and we'll see.
But see, like
Beat the
Badlands
Creek is the one that I need to do.
RC. I mean, you can go off-roading, take the side-by-sides out, hit the dunes, hit the whips. I mean, come on.
I know.
It's more.
It's by all means, one that I would be like, totally into doing. But Beat the Creek is probably the one that I want to try and do the most. And I still, the website's been the consuming part for me. But I really need to just try and figure out if I can make that trip in some sort of easy way. But the other thing, I need to get an easy up out there for it. And that's the side of it. I'm just like, I think maybe I'll just ship it to Kirby and make him drive it down. I'm sure he's bringing like a 40-foot enclosed to buy someone's house full of RCs. So
yes, that's what he brings. Yes.
Yeah. Just in case he drives by a yard sale that there's some RCs sitting outside. But,
oh yeah. He does. When he's there, you got to see him on his phone. He's this marketplace, just looking to see what's around. He has people lined up and like, hey, I got my lot. Do you want to buy it since we're here?
Just let's make this easy. Let's make this easy on both of us. I want to make that one happen. I miss the humidity, so I just need to get back to it. And I feel like there's no place like you can't experience
humidity. What's wrong with you? No. I walk out to my car and I'm just done. I have another shirt waiting for me in the car. Like, no, it's okay.
Yeah. I grew up in it, and it's just you never get used to it. Never, you can't. No. I go back and I'm just like, oh God, this is
oh yeah, I mean, you step out of the airport here in Florida, and as soon as the doors open, you just get it's like a knockout. It's like, all right, I'm in swampland. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just embrace it. But yeah, so I got to figure out how to make Beat the Creek in the most doable way, and figure that out. Just whatever it takes to. A little bit more difficult to get in and out of there and all that, but we'll figure out a way to make that one happen.
Well,
it's gonna be a busy year.
I can help you figure it out.
Yeah, it's I'm usually pretty good at travel, but it's really just the time of like organizing all the rest of the stuff. I like to really wing things and just be like, I'll figure it out when I get there. Sometimes that's not the best approach.
My wife hates it when I do that, and I love doing that. I'm like, I don't care. I'll just go.
Nicole and I are both good at it. We'll just wing, like we'll figure it, like there's hotels everywhere. Just stop somewhere. It's fine. Like we'll just buy it when we get there. Don't worry about it. Get in the car. Let's go. But, yeah, that one. Now I've never been to. I don't even know that I've really seen much like of the actual area of Beat the Creek as far as like photos and things like that. So I don't even really know what that experience is like there.
Tree, farm, barn, tree, cow, tree.
Is there any rock, or is it in the creek?
No, there's no rock. Not
Okay.
that I've seen. It's mostly trailing. It's just, and if you're in the barn, like they have it all laid
there's an
out.
actual barn.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's up in the air, so you're sitting down at the bottom while everybody's running construction equipment behind you. That's amazing to watch. Like, oh, let me grab this dirt, dump it into a dump truck. They drive it down there, unload it, and that's wild. But yeah, then you're driving your crawler at like a 20-foot drop. It just happens.
I'm fine with that.
There's a net to catch it, maybe.
Maybe catch like a.
But you get like a little badge and it says "I beat the barn" kind of a situation. It's pretty cool.
The farm. Wait, isn't that? I thought that was in Arizona, but
yes, the farm is in Georgia. That's a new one.
Yeah, it's a fishnet. Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, the Josh is a city boy, but less bougie than I am not. I grew up in the creek all the time. That was where farm, horses, and mucking stalls, and I just enjoy the city now.
I think he's confusing that with the LA River. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm in NorCal. It's way worse here. We're in Sacramento, which is like California mixed with GTA. So
all right.
Down in the holler, exactly. The bar closest to Nicole's family's lake cabin was called Possum Holler, but it wasn't spelled like possum is normally spelled. It's just like POSSUM instead of like opossum.
Okay.
Backwards. Real backwards. That's why Nicole talks like she does. But I can hear the blow dryer, so I can say all these things now without fear of the door getting busted down. So do you have any trucks there in your room with you with your blurry background, or did you clear everything out of there?
I had to clear out some of it, but there's still stuff behind me that I can't show. It's kind of why I have the background. I'm like, I have no place else to put it. My wife would not appreciate me moving this stuff back into the living room and then bring it back in.
Find something that you want to talk about. Let's show something that you've done, at least something that you've painted.
Okay.
That's Dr. President Legend Buck Dandy. If you go to Beat the Creek, I will go. Crawling and hanging out with the legend president. How can you beat that? Carl, we're going to make it happen. There we go. Your blurry background is making this very difficult.
Yes, I know.
I can already tell it's some sort of Land Rover, so I already hate it. The Jurassic Park side, I can get on board with. That was a pretty decent movie. What is it? Series 3 or 2 Land Rover? Which one is this?
Series 2.
Series 2. You see, you should have saved that for Matt.
No, it's not. It's a Series 3.
Is it? They're all ugly to me. No.
They are
Is Series
not.
2 uglier than the Series 3? Because I don't understand how.
There is an uglier one than Series 3. It is actually the Series 2. It's got a whole different front end on it, but it's so ugly. It's nice. It's kind of like having a pug, right? Like the dog is just so ugly. It's cute.
I mean, we all have those girlfriends, but still, I just hard to explain things. I don't even know. I can't with him. FMS Nashkin paint team in shambles. Oh yes, what's the Fair RC paint team? Generally, their patinaed paint jobs are always the most fun for me. I like to cover those in the news as well. Sometimes they even comment back. They're like, "Will you please leave us alone?" But we will not.
Yeah. A lot of people have known me for the Jurassic Park paint jobs and stuff like that.
Oh, you've done a lot of Jurassic Park paint.
Yes.
Why? Explain.
2 reasons. One, I really love Jurassic Park, but the real reason is my son. He has autism, and what chills him out and relaxes him is anything Jurassic Park related.
Really?
So
that is not
really
a chill movie.
He pushes me. Like, he wants me to go buy a 1-1 Jeep and do it all Jurassic Park. Like, but and I do it for him because he loves seeing it.
That, I mean, that is such not a chilled out movie. It's such a like intense movie.
He loves it.
Hey,
I mean, his favorite part is when the guy gets eaten on the toilet bowl. I mean, come on, but who doesn't love that part?
I even actually like the newer ones as well.
Yeah, Jurassic World, everything. And like for Halloween, he'll dress up in a T-Rex costume, and I'll drive one of the Jurassic Park RCs, and he's chasing after. We've won the best Halloween costume like 4 years in a row now.
A 1-to-1 YJ build. I can imagine that a good condition YJ is hard to find in Florida.
It is. Yeah,
that is a tough state on vehicles. Yep. It's a tough state on just about
everything. You got to look at everything. You got to see what people are covering up, all of it.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. YJs, can be hard on their own, but that's
that and Toyota's older than 89.
Oh, also just completely falling apart.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody knows that the metal that they used in the older Toyotas wasn't really tested for like Florida humidity. I mean, so like you get one little scratch in the paint, boom, you got rust cancer all over the bed of your truck for the rest forever.
Yeah. So that's what it is now. Yeah, that's Nebraska was kind of like that, just with the amount of salt we had, but Florida's the next level of difficult.
I mean, because we still have the salt air, and then we have the humidity on top of that, so it's always wet, especially in the morning. So, yeah.
When Jurassic Park came out, we waited in line for like an hour on release night. I cried, and my family had to leave the theater. I remember seeing it in theater as well when I was young in Omaha, and we saw it at the Indian Hills Theater, which was at the corner of 90th and Dodge, and it's long gone. It's like a CVS area now, but it was massive movie theater screens back there, and that specific theater was just known for how huge the place was. And I remember watching it just being, because that would have came out in what year? Like mid 90s?
93, 95.
Yeah. So somewhere in there. So I would have been, 10. And yeah, that was just peak years of just being like, whoa. But yeah, I did. That was not a lot of those that I remember seeing in the theater, but she wants to hunt. 93. Yeah. So I was 10.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. They talk about the old days of malls. Oh, I know. Going to the movie theater at the mall was awesome.
I don't know. How many of you paid?
Yeah.
Go get popcorn. Distract them. Run through.
Omaha was a little harder for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So let's see. What's this say? I'm 36 and there's scenes in the OG I still can't watch. I get that nervous energy too. I'm like, Now, I hadn't seen Jurassic Park in forever. And one year for Axial Fest, James Knight did like a whole Jurassic Park themed trail. And he put a bunch of the, references, Barbasol and all that stuff in there. Yeah. And I didn't remember hardly. I was like, I don't get, like, what is it? Shaving cream? Like, what is?
Oh, really? Oh, man.
It had been so long since I had seen the movie that I had forgot everything about it. And so once I was like, oh, so I actually went back and watched it after that event. And I was like, that makes that trail make so much more sense. James is always pretty good with those details. So.
Oh yeah.
That was good. But yes, So you did that. I'm trying to remember the now how long of the bodies for JConcepts, how long have you been painting those?
Close to 2 years.
Okay, a couple of years. So
Yeah.
only some of them that I've given you
Yeah.
hell about. That makes sense. Couldn't remember how many of those actually applied for that or not. But
A lot. But see, I was like, you even had me up on Scale News, like me, my body, wearing a Scale Rat
really?
shirt. Yes.
What? For what?
It was Carry All RC was releasing their very first sling bag, and it was me and my friend Casey. And you put our picture up wearing the sling bag. I'm wearing the Scale Rat t-shirt and everything, and I'm like, nothing, still nothing. I'm like, all right.
Nope. Yeah, I think the first one that I actually remembered. Now, one of the rippers, did you do like some sort of crazy, weird anodizing job on everything on it, or was it a wrap, or how did you? I think that was the first time I actually remembered seeing something specifically that you either like had your logo on or something like that.
Yes, it was. I wrapped a ripper, and I also, yeah, there was another thing. It was a rift that I wrapped.
Okay,
With
it was probably
the distressed look, like all this artwork that's behind me and everything on there.
But I remember that on the ripper side. I don't think I would.
Yes, but then there was another ripper, number 136, where I 3D printed all the panels and then I painted them an actual rust, so it was more realistic. And then it had the Scale Rat logo on the side. That one everybody loved.
That one, yes. That might have been the one too. I can't remember which, but yes, I remember seeing them at that time because you've been 3D printing replacement panels here as of like the last 6-8 months.
Close to a year. I mean, on the side, like behind the scenes, about a year, but publicly about 6-8 months.
Okay, yeah, that I just remember the when you're kind of getting that nailed down. So for the guys that didn't want to beat up their original panels too much. Oh yes, Art, great question. Flying cars. Have you seen it?
Flying cars.
That reaction is enough to tell us that you didn't.
No.
Well, that's a requirement. That's a requirement for ever making a second appearance. Flying Cars is a cinematic masterpiece about
RC cars.
RC cars.
Then yes, I have seen it. I don't remember the name.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe me either.
You couldn't forget this movie.
No, because wasn't it all about like Tamiya's and all that?
Nope.
No,
it was about a douche mainly. His name is Drew. So I believe that it is available on Amazon currently. Someone find the current available streaming platform so that if Robert ever wants to come back, he has the ability.
I will watch it. Terrible ratings on IMDb.
Oh, now the first time you watch it, it's not great. But if you watch it like 15 or 20 more times, it gets better every single time. So I've watched it a lot. So has Matt. Okay. We do some trivia on it every once in a while.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It'll really make you hate a person. So
all right.
It is on Prime. There we go. Thank you, Ethan.
It's on Prime? Okay.
There you go. Flying Cars. It's got a buggy. There's a lot of associated product placement in it.
Okay.
And while I don't know, have you ever there's a couple of hobby shops from SoCal that if you've ever made the trip, maybe you would have seen, but
okay.
Worth the watch. We will wait for your review on your next appearance. I did not tell Matt that you were coming on, and he texted me right before because I didn't text you until like what?
Yeah,
1:30.
Like 2 hours to get ready. Come on.
Yeah. Like what time? Like So, and he's like, "You got somebody from JConcepts?" Like, yeah, I did. He goes,
and then he's like, "Who's that guy?" I'm a scale guy, better than you.
You know, Northeast, you're even next to Matt, you know, from up there. So it took him 2 hours to do that beard. Thanks, Lee.
Don't hate. All the years, well earned.
Oh, yeah.
Every gray hair for every RC car I've owned.
Oof. Ooh. Oh, it's $3.99 to rent on Prime. That's still worth it. Small price to pay.
Don't you miss LimeWire?
Oh, actually, I got a letter. I got a letter once in the mail, certified mail.
Oh, really?
Because of, yeah.
Was it Paramount?
It might have been.
Yep.
You know what? I can find out exactly who it was because I can look up the movie and see who. I
had gotten the Paramount one.
Let's see who. This was made by. Does it say? I don't know if it will say. Either way, yeah, I remember getting that letter in the mail and going, "Uh-oh," okay. And yeah, that had to send
change internet carriers, everything.
No, I had to send a letter back. Then they sent a letter, said if you sign this, we won't press charge or make you fine you. Sorry. Yeah, freaking internet provider gave us up, and it was on from like Pirate Bay or whatever one of those way back in the day. One of those torrent sites. You live and learn. Never did it again after that. Never once. Learned my lesson. Said I'm sorry, but.
So is Matt going to be able to jump on?
We'll see. We'll see. He is out of the country at the moment.
Oh,
okay. Out of his country. I think he's back in our country now. But.
Okay.
Well, so we'll see. They sent an email to your Yahoo email first.
Don't hate.
How now? The other thing is that you just said you've been doing the scale side for about 5 years. So that means within the last 5 years, you went to yahoo.com and clicked sign up for a new email address. I didn't even know they still had that button on Yahoo.
Yeah. I have 3 emails with the Yahoo on it. And I have a Gmail.
Are all of your passwords written on like a sticky note that is on the refrigerator as well? Just so. Do you do the crossword every morning? Do you? Is it getting close to your bedtime?
Yes. Since it is 3 hours ahead of you. Yes, it is. Yes, we are getting to that age where our bodies are just falling apart.
Oh, hey.
And broken.
Yeah, I've been there, but I'm definitely know that it will get worse. But I still use the Hotmail. Hotmail just about as bad. Yahoo considerably worse. Will not let that go. Josh is talking a big game for pushing late 40s. Nah, we can make it happen. But yes. So it's it'll be a fun year ahead of us to see with someone at the crawler wheel over in JConcepts. But
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, I'll tell you.
Yeah, hopefully. It's obviously we haven't had somebody like that there. Not that they still haven't made progress and made some bodies that worked out well, but hopefully you get another set of eyes on the names specifically. Although you know what? I think you guys should actually just lean into it. Like just lean into the name. That's like Warlord. Come on, you had too much Mountain Dew before it. That's fine. Just go back. Just go absolutely cliche with everything. Don't start trying to do good names now.
Okay, that's probably not going to happen. Because that is one thing I have a say, but I'm overruled. So I'm the guy that just sits there and be like, I just work here. I just work here.
It was worth a shot. But now names are hard. I'll give you that. It's to get everybody to agree on something. That is the hardest part of any of those.
Yeah, no. I mean, all the punches that I'm getting from the chat, from you, a lot of it makes sense. I got nothing.
No.
But going forward, everything's going to reflect on me. So,
we're
going to make some changes.
We're going to post up that Yahoo email address just for, I would never, not dox. I was gonna say, it's like one of those things, like asking for
the Morvair actually sell. It did. That body we cannot keep in stock.
That's one of those things. Like, you can't underestimate the power of a fan base. That's that's a not called a Morvair. It's just happened to be painted similarly.
DK, that's a no. I am risking everything right now.
Monday. Oh wait, what is today? Today's only Wednesday. Jesus, I don't know how that happened. Tomorrow I walk in.
But if anything happens, I do know that VP has a marketing position open.
We do. You just have to live in California.
Right. That's the only fine line.
That's the hitch, and that
Well, if the pay meets the move,
good side.
I'll bring the humidity with me.
No, we do not have room in the office for that. We have sensitive machinery, and we cannot support I can only imagine what the JConcepts warehouse smells like with that much humidity and that much rubber in one building.
Yeah, rubber, plastic.
I have to imagine that the racing side is still where JConcepts, is most focused at this point. Yeah,
I would have to agree. I mean, that's their thing. That's what they're mostly known for. I mean, all the shirts, everything is all race related and all that. It's and then crawlers came along, so it was a new addition that they had to add on there, but not really anybody on the inside to really know, like, where do we go with this? We just kind of see what's on social media and, well, that looks cool. Let's do something like that. Let's see if we can make that work. Right. But now with the insight, it's gonna be good. Yeah, I wish I could say more instead of it's gonna be good. It's gonna change.
That's the way it always goes. We all, it's a body probably isn't gonna have the same type of timeline as something like a full car or anything like that. But still, you see all of the projects and all of those things, and you start getting all those photos in your phone. You're like, you start going to try and make a social media post one day. You're like, I can't. Like, what can I actually post?
Yes.
Like, you're just going to,
yes.
No. You got to scroll like further back. Like, that one.
I did that like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we can use that one now. That's out. That's so now you are to the point now where you can when you have something that you for sure want in the scale news, you can send me an email now with that info. Make sure that it gets.
Are you going to pin it and say, I'll get back to this later?
Different emails.
Different emails. Oh, okay. All right.
Different email addresses. Or you can do, I think there's some companies that specifically release like later on the day that scale news comes out. Like, I don't want it in there. I don't want to talk about it.
Just pre-warn me. I want to send you something and then be like, you're going to be destroyed for this. And I'm like, okay, just prepare me,
When I see a release that you didn't send me, I'm like, he knew. He knew.
He knew. When I got wind of this, he knew. So, well, I'm actually glad that Scale News is continuing, because episode 300, I was a little worried there for a minute.
You know, Nicole's the one who talked me into still doing it, I think, more than anything. So I'm
I
gonna.
don't know if I'm the only one that watches it all the way to the end, and then
Yeah.
it says the end, and I'm like, he never said my name.
Never once.
And I was like, well, dang. Well, like, what am I going to do on Tuesdays on my drive in?
All right. I think I figured out how I'm going to make myself continue doing it, but hopefully we'll get to that here later this summer. But for now, it continues. If it doesn't, or if I don't make the decision that I'm trying to make this summer, then maybe it won't. But where's the JConcepts Linglongs? Everybody wants that to happen. We need them. April Fool's around the corner. Just do something. Just get us the Linglongs. If you can find an email address for someone at Linglong, I want to know, because that would be the hardest thing. You may have to go over there. Now, your facility in Florida there, for the most part, are you guys just kind of warehousing distribution, or are you guys doing any manufacturing or anything like that in-house?
All the above.
Oh, that's awesome. So there is both.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what kind of manufacturing, obviously JConcepts, puts country of origin on a lot of their stuff, but I obviously have not dealt with anything except stuff in our area. So that's pretty rad. I didn't know what if you guys were making anything right there. That's
it's like Fort Knox. Everything's under lock and key, though. Yeah.
I always just like when I see like a new accessory that pops up, because there's every week when I go to I go through my news pins, I'll go to JConcepts and I go like tires, bodies, accessories, because every once in a while like a new accessory will pop up and it's like antenna mount for Ford F-150. I'm like, does like Jason drive a Ford F-150 and he just wanted titanium license plate bolts? Like because
I cannot answer what he drives.
I'm just going right now. JConcepts is it .net? No,
you got to get your wheel nuts though. They're pretty cool.
JConcepts.net. I did try and buy JConcepts.com once, even though because it's not available. Since your guys' website is JConcepts.net, I was
like, you would.
Oh, I do that all. I'm like, this accessories. If we go to accessories on the JConcepts page, scroll down here. Where is the first one of these? We've got always some interesting things. Where are the categories for this? Oh, I'm gonna find
Vintage RC. Can you pop his up real quick?
If I go back to this page, where? Oh, there it is. That one. Okay. Will JConcepts add new crawler?
As of now, no, but it is something that I am looking into.
Now, the green seems like a great compound. What are people's feedback on the compounds and why they're looking for?
So for the crawler side, it's the super soft, and that's the green.
Yes.
But depending on like the terrain and what rig you're going with, like say if you're going with a leafer that's quite heavy, then you go with a super soft, you're gonna look like you're rolling around with some flat tires. So you got to go with different inserts and things like that. You love leafers, don't you?
You're on leaf springs. You probably can't afford air. So
having a tougher compound will definitely make that component easier. So it is something that I'm looking into.
Hi, thank you, Turbo Row, by the way, and thank you, Brandon Smith, for Nicole keeping alive. I think she just still wanted me to stop bothering her on Mondays, although Monday nights are still the she has to be like, get back, stop procrastinating. Nope, get back to work. She makes sure to keep the ship steering the right way. And kudos for JConcepts. It's still making RC10 stuff. I was not aware. It's JConcepts is always one of those things. Like I see the new releases from them, the old school like monster truck parts, clodbuster conversions. Obviously, it's parts that are wanted by either some, whether it's Jason or I obviously don't know many of the people there, racers or whoever's working there, but just to see that they're like making those niche, just enthusiast driven parts. I always think that's cooler than just like, this makes the most sense. Like that, because those are always just kind of like, yeah.
But see, that stuff does really well though.
Oh, I bet, because
I got to take a look at some of that stuff, and as fast as we get it in, as fast as it goes. And I was surprised at that. And I'm like, all right, I'm in the market for a clodbuster. I want to build one.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the monster truck racing side, I never paid too much attention to it, and except when I was like talking with Schultz and watching what those guys were doing at the time, and just seeing all the classes for monster truck racing. The old school like clodbuster style, or the whatever all the classes were. I obviously didn't pay too close attention when he was telling me, but the events actually do look like a good time. The racing, is it mostly carpet racing, or is that just a lot of what I see?
That's probably just a lot of what you see, because I see a lot of dirt.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's different because you're over there and I'm over here, but it's
yeah.
But it's 50-50.
Okay. That makes sense, at least, just when I do see it pop up. The down and back racing, while it's still, still looks like it would be a good time. Monster truck, the retro class. Yeah. One of the guys here built a retro class monster truck, because it was actual. Is leaf spring an actual rule in those? You don't know.
I don't
know. You're very helpful. Aren't you the monster? You're in charge of monster trucking now.
No, crawlers. Monster truck second. I just work here. That's my thing. If I don't know, I just work here.
I don't know.
UPS guy comes. Hey, I just work here. I don't know where that goes.
Yeah. That's trying to manage both sides of that world, I guess will be fun.
I'm introduced into that world, so I'm absorbing as much information about it. Like once I get there, I'll know your answers. That's pretty much that's what I got.
When you get the time to focus on it, that's
you'll
just keep learning it, and whether or not you keep deciding to go racing, or how much you get to travel with it.
I mean, my eye opener is probably going to be the Bigfoot Open, because we're going to do some monster truck racing down there along with the 1-1 monster trucks, which is going to be pretty sweet.
Where is that one at?
I believe somewhere near Illinois, so it's going to be near Badlands.
Okay, well, because that isn't Bigfoot's like headquarters in the St. Louis area.
Yes, that's it, St. Louis,
and it is there.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be rad.
So.
I was always on the other side of the state and never made it over there, but I had a friend who worked there for a little bit. And yeah, it always seemed like a good time. And so the monster truck world, I have to imagine those events are pretty good size, especially when you get to do it alongside the full size monster truck.
Oh yeah. I hope I get to go in one. I've never been in a monster truck, so that's like a childhood dream.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that many of us have or will ever be. So yeah, that would be quite the opportunity. I guess they have like the big ride along ones, right? In the back. But do they have any of like just 2-seat? You just get to sit next to the driver.
See, I don't know. That would be pretty sweet.
That would absolutely be
right.
Pacific, Missouri is where it's at. Hey, JConcepts Live. the person with the actual answer. There you go. ride along ones are sweet. Yeah, I think Schultz used to drive one of the ride along trucks. I was like,
that'd be pretty sweet. That's gonna be pretty cool. If there is one that's side by side, I'm like next to the driver, I'm definitely hanging out the window pulling an Ace Ventura, and detective.
there's got to be one of those guys that can make it happen. No, I mean, Jeremiah, thank you as well. I got the A1 Mini today. Did my first print, printed so fast. Yes, the bamboos are, especially on the speed, but the A1 I have not actually seen in person yet. You're doing a decent amount of 3D printing yourself as well, right?
Yeah, I'm doing mostly resin though. Resin and SLS.
Okay. And for SLS, are you designing and sending it off, or you have somebody in?
No, actually last year I bought a machine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. What'd you get? What'd you decide to do?
I went with Mamaki.
Interesting.
Yep.
So how was that whole experience with because it's not
nice.
Is it?
It's nice. It's an expensive experience, but it's a nice experience.
I mean,
but the way that your prints come out, the quality, the sturdiness is completely different than resin and FDM. You can print in PA12 or MJF, holds up super well. So the experience is pretty good.
That's rad. And it's a unit that you can have at home?
No, I actually have to rent out a facility.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, oftentimes I know there's like 220 heaters and cleaning units, and it's a whole process to do that. So that's pretty rad. That's a super interesting portion of things. What made you decide to dive into that, and what avenue are you using to justify it?
Shapeways.
Well, I get
like orders come through, and then people need quantity of certain things, not just RC related. And then as long as the order makes sense, then process it. So it's making a little extra on the side.
It's like contracting through them?
Yes.
Oh, that makes total sense then. That's rad. That's in that unit, is it a big size build area on the
no. So for a machine that's about, let's say 11 foot by 6 foot, right? That's the size of the machine. Like it's pretty massive, almost like the size of like a milling CNC machine, And but the print space is about 24 by 24 to do all that.
That's what. Now, is that unit size? That's the print area and like the second chamber where it transfers.
So yeah, the print area is 24 by 24, and then you have your push area for the extra powder,
right?
Depending what we're using at the time. That's about another 5 foot deep bucket that it kind of goes into. Yeah.
And then like the processing area, is that all part of that where you can transfer it to and do all the cleanup and all that?
Yeah. Cleanup's pretty easy though.
Well, that's good. But actually just, being a contractor with the Shapeways side, that makes, I knew that they would do that at times, but usually don't hear much.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it pays for the machine, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Because these machines are not cheap. Like I chose to buy a machine over a brand new car. And like I could have bought myself a nice M4 for for what one of these machines go for. But eventually, it's going to pay for itself, and I can just be sitting here getting paid, looking at my watch, and just watch money roll through, kind of a situation.
Yeah, the SLS machines, like speed is, they're not super fast. It takes a long time for that build area. But
no, so with those though, you can actually set your slicer to, it has layers. So you'll have shelving, so you can have and add, so you can take full advantage of the 24 inches, if that makes sense.
So like you could have jobs at different height.
Correct.
Okay, that makes now, is it one of those ones where like you have to bring everything up to temperature, so you're trying to maximize that whole area?
Yes.
Okay. we looked at one at one point, and it was just like they took about as much power as a full CNC.
Yes.
So, like they are power hungry. But that's why I was like, but yeah, renting a facility that's proper for
it's much easier. It's a lot less expensive to do it that way. Yeah, like when you do something like that, you have to look at every single avenue. You got to look at your structure, how you plan on like putting it, the maintenance on it. If you buy it brand new, definitely purchase the maintenance program that they offer so they can come by, fix it, because you're not going to know what to do. I mean, I try looking over their shoulders to see, but even then it's like, nah, I'd just rather keep paying you to do it. We're good.
Yeah, because it's not running, it's not going to make you any money.
No,
and so
exactly.
Making sure you get one that is supported is, I mean, that's the same with anything, but especially when you put that much money out, knowing that you have good support. Now, were you using a space before that this decided, or did you just stand up this whole venture on its own based on that?
So I got lucky. The machine was already there in a rented space, and I kind of just took over the lease of the space.
Oh,
And so
okay.
instead of moving it and doing all that, because that was going to be a whole additional expense of just moving the machine, then having to pay somebody to reset it up and, to do all of that. Like, nah, I'll buy it, leave it here, sign the lease, we're done.
That makes a lot of sense then. Just that's pretty cool though, because that's a whole decision.
Yes, it was scary to make that decision.
Now, obviously, you're at JConcepts now, but what were you doing before that?
Just painting bodies and doing 3D printing. No, for 20 years, no. But for the last couple of years, since 2020, I've all been dedicated scale rat. Prior to that, I was marketing and how would I put that? Finance for AT&T.
Okay, for AT&T. This sounds awfully New York coming out. I was in kneecap relocation and
well, with AT&T, I still have some agreements that I'm not allowed to say certain things. So I just have to be careful with what I say.
Sure. Nobody watches this, don't worry.
All
right. But yeah, no. So I mean,
non-disclosure agreements are just a big pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah, you know how it goes, especially when you get people that behind it on a big company that may actually have something to say about it. But
right, exactly. So
yes, well, I mean, since I've been out for a handful of years then, and having some time, painting that's a world of that is not easy. A lot of you guys have so much labor,
It is. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, people hit you up, hey, I want you to paint a body for me. Cool, let's talk about it. And then it gets to the point where you have to talk a price. And one of two things is gonna happen. I'm gonna be like, oh great, let's do it. Or it's gonna be like, run.
Yeah, just silence.
Yeah, it's just like ghosts. But I've done pretty well with the painting, staying consistent with it. Sometimes it's like a door-to-door sales kind of a job. Whereas if you don't have anything lined up, you got to reach out and be like, hey, anybody looking to get some bodies done or any CAD work, design work, anything like that.
Gotcha.
But that happened only for the first time this year, though.
Okay.
So other years have been great. And it's mostly because I love UST. That's my go-to event. And that's here in Florida. It's local. I stay slammed busy between August and February.
Just people getting ready for it.
UST did not happen this year. It kind of, you felt it.
That big of it. I mean, I get, especially being the local event, things like that. Now, from what I heard, that event just needs to change venues, and that made it hard to make happen this year. But that's coming back next year?
Or is from my understanding, yes. Rob Matthews, the runner of Ultimate Scale Truck Expo, he hasn't really said much about what's going on. So I trust in him that, he's he's going to make an announcement soon because everybody's going to start planning for it. But
Sure.
yeah, I'm hoping 2025 we're back at it.
Time flies.
And
Yeah, and I mean the numbers out of that event were always impressive as far as number of vehicles and things like that. It always looked like a moist event. But I guess that seems
no, sometimes it's been hot. It's I mean, here in Florida, you walk outside, you just melt, and then you walk back into the shade, and then you reform. It's like PLA. You know, like every human being is a piece of PLA that's just warps. Hot, sweaty, sunburn.
Oh, fire ants.
Oh, fire ants, yes. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's about all I remember growing up. Is like, why does the grass hurt so much? And fire ants. Like that was fun. Like, this grass is so hard.
Hey, mommy, that's a big lizard right there. Can I pet
it? Just ate a dog. Yeah, the other thing you're talking
30 minutes from me, we have wild monkeys. They like to beat you up. Like if you're on a boat and you see them in the trees, just know like you're in a bad spot. They're coming down. They're gonna slap you.
Now
they do. They jump on your boat, walk up to you, slap you, and then jump back in the tree.
Just living their best life.
Yes.
I think Dan had gone down to USTE one year and they like took a photo of those wild monkeys and how aggressive they were.
Yes.
Like, and they were like part of an exhibit or something, and they just someone let them go, or what happened with that?
Yes, I believe that happened close to like 20 years ago. They escaped from Lowry Park Zoo, and they just like, whatever, like we're never catching that thing. It's just gone.
And now they're just
It's like the same thing right now with we have a couple of reports of anacondas being found in the Everglades.
Just people letting their pets go.
That is just I'm glad I don't live there, because gators, anacondas, just weird creatures, spiders the size of your face. Like, no. Okay.
Are you like North Central Florida or?
Yeah, it's I'm about 40 minutes from Tampa.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I got kind of the general area then. But yeah, that the monkey, seeing that and all that was you had talked about CAD as well. What are you using for CAD?
SolidWorks.
Your SolidWorks CAD? Yeah, it makes sense. It's a great CAD package. That's the
come on. What are you gonna say? You're
holding I love SolidWorks. It's what I like, trained myself in initially, right? It's what we use at work as well.
Oh, okay.
And just for, I actually end up using Fusion now more than anything, just because I'm not in it at the office day to day nearly as much.
Okay.
But yeah, SolidWorks it's just not always, if you, like you said, you came from a marketing background and all that before, whether the rest of your bookie side of things it can't be spoken about. You just don't always hear that SolidWorks is where someone goes right away. So, unless you were doing that professionally before.
No, I mean, come on, everybody's famous when they're starting into 3D printing. They find Tinkercad. Come on, everybody does.
I'll never let Tony CCX live it down. So,
I mean, that's kind of what really got us started. And then I went into Fusion. I like that. And then SolidWorks. It's definitely more challenging than I think Fusion is.
It can be, yeah. It's more robust at the same time.
It works. That's all I gotta say.
It's more robust. It's better for big assembly stuff, things like that.
The assembly portion of it, not a fan of.
Oh, that's honestly the part that I miss more than anything.
Really?
Because Fusion is okay for it, but SolidWorks is so much better. And like that's like what I learned and trained in. Like, going back, it's like, I wish that I could just have some of these controls that made life so much easier in SolidWorks.
I also see that SolidWorks has missed opportunities to making certain jobs so much easier.
Well, that's definitely true. Any thoughts on SolidWorks Maker? I'm not familiar with that at all.
No.
I don't know anything about that.
Neither do I.
So every once in a while I'll do like just a search for like what the newest best free CAD is of some sort, whether it's Shaper 3D or one of the many numbers of like the open source ones are starting to gain a little bit more steam, and there's starting to be people who are putting a skin on top of them and trying to make them a little more user friendly. It's just cool, just because when I started trying to teach myself CAD, I had to use a certain website that also at one time got me in trouble with a letter. But the only way I was the only way I was able to learn was to find a way to get this software that was way too expensive for what I was going to be able to get in on a college goer's budget. And the whole like being able to get things as a student was so much more difficult when I was in college than now. Like now, if you're a student, you can get great software for like $99. You can get a copy of SolidWorks for like $99. It's absolutely just like dive
compared
in.
to the price that I actually had to pay for it. Like,
that's not fair. You want to get a normal seat of SolidWorks. It's like it's gonna be at $5,000 a year, like, or $5,000 once and then maintenance, whatever they charge. But it's not cheap. Hopefully now that's a work expense for you.
It is, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, like it makes it a little bit more bearable. It's still not nice to see it, but like I already have it. Why do I have to keep paying for this? That's what it is. But yeah, the now on your design side of things, what are you producing mainly? Because obviously you've only been doing JConcepts for a month now. So before that, you were obviously designing and producing for something.
Scale things, scale stuff, bodies. Man, I'm trying to see what I can get away with here. Just give me a second. Need a drink of water, making me sweat over here. I'm gonna have no job by tomorrow.
But so were you doing stuff just like contract work for RC companies already?
There was a couple of things that I had done, yes, for other companies, but mostly it was somebody would message me and say, "Hey, I have an idea. Can you make this happen?" And I would say, "Give me a week. Let me find the time. And this is what I have." So a good majority of those clients, they want to keep it for themselves.
Oh, which is, yeah, absolutely.
So that's just like, there's a lot of stuff that's out there in the industry that I have done that I don't take any credit for, and I'd never choose nor want to.
Right.
But
that makes total sense. You just have to you just have to figure out your way to say that more.
Right.
Because otherwise we were like trying to imagine the things that you wouldn't want to say, like designing.
No, everything that's out there I approve of. I would never make something that I would not be okay with.
That makes sense.
Because again, regardless, at the end of the day, 4 or 5 years from now, if that person says, "Hey, this guy made it," and it's something that I didn't really care for in the first place, then guess who looks bad? The original guy. So, but
I had done I did design work for a lot of people for, like when I first started in RC crawling, it was a lot of that as well. Like there wasn't a lot of people that knew CAD, especially back then, and so some of these guys were like, "I have a napkin sketch that I need to send to a machinist. I just need a DXF file of this chassis design." I'm like, "Sure, knock it out." And the chassis design was fine. I didn't super care one way or the other. I was just making it for somebody. But then even if it was like that person who then like later on down the road just like turned out to be flaky or do bad work and things like that, and he was just like, "Man, why did it have to be like, I don't want anything to do with that person."
Right. And that's another thing. So like when we're having conversations and we're talking, once you exceed more than 3 requests, My challenge then is to keep you happy and satisfied with what your finished product is going to be. So once you start getting there, I'm kind of slipping back a little bit. I'm like, hey, you're making this really hard to make you fully satisfied, and you can't satisfy everybody. And it's the same thing for paint jobs. It's like,
Oh,
I'll tell you, base color, tell me kind of what you want, but that's it. I'm going to do what I do because you went to me for that. But once you start making some extra requests, I'm like, I don't think you're going to be satisfied with this. You're just getting
seems
too
like
picky here.
seems like you have a very specific idea in mind, and that can
Right.
be
I can't quite read your mind. I can kind of get around there, but yeah, I got to be careful.
Joe Moose Jaw, he's been my painter now for a handful of years, and I'm usually very just like, I don't really care. Like base color, I don't even necessarily care sometimes. One time I didn't tell him anything, and I got back a body that had Crocs all over it, though. So you learn a little bit every time. But the paint job side of things, I just can't believe how you guys are able to do it. It's for every way.
I love that. That's my USA. That's my therapy to chill out, relax, have an idea, and just make it happen. And I live by the rule of Bob Ross: happy accidents.
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents. You will never know where I made a mistake. Never.
So are you doing more Lexan than hard body, or are you doing a pretty decent mix?
A good mix.
Good mix.
Only within the last 2 years, I've been doing Lexan more, but it's always been hard body model.
Model what?
Like just model stuff, static model stuff, or any of that hard surface stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a whole so a lot of painting outside of this RC world, even.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty interesting part of it then. Just
how like your wife has like different hobbies, like I want to paint this and yada yada. Well, that's me around the house. Like, I need you to make this rustic and vintage and aged, and I'm like, all right, cool, but I'll have fun with
it. Nicole never asked me to paint anything. It's weird.
It's probably because you make that face.
Yeah, like,
that cringe face. No.
This is never gonna do it. Let's see. Happy little trees. That's pretty, like, happy trees on everything.
Exactly.
God, Crocs with socks rocks. Let's see. My relaxing is building chassis. I can't do body work. I fully relate to that one. If I can put a welding hood on, I am happy. If I have to pick up a paint, it's not the action of painting. It's obviously everything else. It's the prep and the masking and you know what my biggest one is waiting between coats. Like, what is the difference to that? What is the difference with just putting one heavy one on versus a bunch of little, like?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Not right away. But there are tricks to help it dry faster.
The heat gun, because that's the only one I use.
Nah, that helps. The Florida sun helps too. That 90 to 100 degrees, direct sun, it helps.
I could see that. I just use it like the brake clean videos where they just like break the thing off and just spray. One press of the can. That can has one shot in it. Let's get it all till it stops.
Oh, no. No. Oh, now I'm cringing. Like, yeah, no.
Oh, I have no ability for paint. You guys who decide to dive into that part of it is now I guess that's the other thing. Like, every time I look at projects, I'm like, oh, how can I make this so that it's easier the next time and the next time, or faster the next time? Like, is there anything you can do with painting to make it more production friendly? Do you have a library of paint masks that you use often, or what do you do?
I mean, it's all in the concept of what you're trying to do first. It's less layers. Of course, it's going to be done faster. but you have to look at your certain techniques. So there's one technique that actually takes me a week to fully finish. So a lot of people will go the cheat way where they'll buy the model masters rust from like Hobby Lobby. And it's just, liquid iron. You put it on there, you let it dry for about 30-40 minutes. And then you just spritz it with the nice little blue solution that comes with it. But boom, you get rust. Well, I go the harder direction. So I'll take some Brillo, so non-soap, just wired mesh, stick it in a baby food jar with some pink sea salt and some vinegar, and I'll just let it sit there for a couple of days. When it's done, it's completely corroded, created its own paste-like paint, and I'll use that for the bodies. And it'll adhere to the body and everything. So
are you putting it over top of your paint, or are you putting it like under a layer and then letting it come through?
You can do it either way. It really depends. So it works best, of course, if you're using a lighter color to go underneath and then lightly on top. This way, when you want to spritz it again with a vinegar, pink sea salt mix, and then it'll actually corrode through the paint. It really depends on what you want to do. Yeah.
Have to be pink sea salt?
I prefer it.
Really?
I do. I have no idea. It's always worked for me, and I do not change my formula.
Can't be regular salt.
No, it cannot be regular salt. It does not work that well.
You know what?
But now, if you make the baby jar, just make sure you keep the cap because it stinks bad.
Oh, okay. That I wouldn't have thought rust would have better than being in Florida. I thought bath salts might have been your preferred, but
no, everybody keeps eating them. They're sold out.
Is JConcepts ever going to compete against Proline? It's actually an interesting kind of topic, because I think that I don't know if people don't maybe compare it as much as they should. Like the JConcepts bodies are quite a bit more affordable than the Proline versions.
Mm-hmm.
If you're comparing like a non-licensed to a non-licensed body. Licensed bodies, there's additional costs, things like that. But JConcepts bodies are pretty affordable. So, which is nice. Now, I know not all, I don't know if any of them are, but I know a lot of JConcepts bodies are produced overseas versus a lot of Proline is produced domestically. Now, not all Proline is produced domestically now. So how much of that will start to mix one way or another is interesting. But I think that people don't give the JConcepts side of the price always the shake that maybe it should get. So it's one side of it that I've looked at before. But
I gotta say, a larger portion than you think is actually made in-house when it comes to the bodies.
That's nice then. Especially, to see that. It'd always be nice to see, they should put that out there more. Let people see that. So you should get a marketing guy that would,
yeah, right. Let me know when you see him.
I just work here. So, but yeah, and then tire side, I would say that right now, man, the JConcepts tires are some of the top choice for a lot of sides, right? I mean, ruptures again are not so scale, but people are all over those if they're just looking for, quote unquote cheater tire. Those tires kill it. And the Tusks, again, I mean, here locally, a lot of guys run them and they do fantastic. So they're, now licensed bodies we don't see. So
now for licensed body, it's cool, but is it really needed?
Hey, I'm right there on your side with it at times. Obviously my day job, we have not done a licensed body yet either. So I'm happy to argue with you.
I'm all about, realism and like, I get it. But now if we look at the just wanting to go out there and having fun or comping, a licensed body is not really needed for that. Maybe if you're doing a class 0 or class 1, but even then, at that point, more than likely you're going to be running a hard body. You know, you're going to run that, you know, plastic Tamiya or RC full drive or something like that. If you're looking to go that scale, but I mean, I can push the subject for having a licensed crawler body, but I just don't really see too much of a need for it. Especially if we're going to be modifying them, like, you know, dovetailed, pinched, and, you know, shortened, wider. You're ruining the license aspect of it anyways at this point.
And it's actually, it's kind of interesting because, you know, say for example, you do a pinched type, say a Jeep body, for example. You know, Horizon does licensed Jeep bodies. Well, when they did a pinched version of one, like they did on the Low C Hammer Ray, you know, Jeep was just like, not a Jeep, don't put our name on that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to do modified versions, sometimes they won't even, you know.
Right. You have to still fall into their guidelines. So if you want to venture into different dimensional bodies, forms of what they call it, they're gonna be like, no, that's not what we are about.
Right. Or sometimes you can call it licensed and not make anything look like the licensed one and still call it a Blazer. But you know, FMS is different. So
oh, yeah, you're good. You're good at triggering, I'll tell you. He's like, I got the stick. I'm just gonna poke it and see what happens.
It's all fun. But you know, I agree with you at that time. Of course, we all have full-size trucks or things like that we like the looks of, and sometimes you just want something that mimics that. But sometimes close enough is good enough. But you know, the JConcepts tusks are not licensed, but obviously they're a very good representation of it. So
I mean, that is something that I really would like to see. I would like to see a licensed tire, but it's something that's one of those things that's still not needed, because we can have a similar tread pattern, you know, on a tire that'll still classify for any competitions and things like that. But it's different when you actually have a licensed brand on the side of that tire that actually performs pretty well. I mean, I have a couple in mind that, you know, have not been made on the RC level yet. And it's making that connection with those companies. So I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it is something that I am strongly looking into.
Sure. And, you know, it's all just part of it. And a fun part of our world working in RC is getting to call up a full-size company and be, hey.
Now, what I really would like to do is, everybody knows our lovely megalithic, right? So quickly it get banned from Sorka and all that stuff, you know. It happens, but I'm wondering that if I go ahead and make a couple of phone calls to the guys over in Japan and be like, hey, I need a 19-inch wheel, 30-inch tire that you can make out of this tread pattern, and only have to have one tire made, will that make me legal? I'm pretty sure the rules say yes.
I would love to see it. I mean, I think if you just shave down a full-size carcass and 3D printed enough knobs to glue on there and, you know, bed liner, and you can make it look right.
I only need to have a 1/1 predecessor to a 1/10 scale version of the entity.
I'd love to see it. That'd be the perfect one. Just saying. Make it happen.
If I do ever get that to happen, I will cut the tire in half, and I will take half of the tire, hang it up on my wall, and then I'll have a certain saying down at the bottom. And that's it. But no, all in love. The Sorka guys, they're great. They work hard on making all those rules and everything. I get it. I understand the rule.
It's a tough.
I'm going to beat it.
It's a tough world to live in. The Sorka world.
It is.
You know, and it's one of those things that a lot of times, you know, things just kind of have a lifespan, and sometimes things can get so muddied that it's hard to stay in there. That's a great discussion for different time, but I'll bring someone else on that I can trigger on that side of it as well. But
Nice. Oh, can I join that
I think
one
I had
too?
Dan on here once. Yeah. I think I had Dan on here once before, like Scale Nats down in Cherokee Rock Village, whatever year that was, 22? Something like that.
Yeah. I think that was
But
the
yeah.
last one. Because now they're calling it something different.
Well, last year there just wasn't one. And TGH had an event that Matt and I just kind of called our nationals for that year, but there was no official nationals. But yeah, that's
East Coast Championships or something. That's what
ECC has been going forever.
Oh, okay.
That was like that started mid 2000s with comp crawling, and then it just turned into like comp crawling and Sorka, but like that's just been it's probably one of the longest running continuous events. Maybe there was a year or two break that it had. I can't remember, but yeah, that's always been a fun event. And so but yeah, Sorka. I don't know. Do you build much for Sorka rules?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys run Sorka comps down in that area?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Usually for like they run Sorka Light here.
Okay.
It's just 50-50. People like it, people don't. But if I want to go true Sorka, I got to go out of state. Alabama, Maryland, Key City.
Yep. That's a decent drive for you, right? Or are you flying up there when you go?
Alabama, I'll drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Maryland. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
More like if I can call Jeremy Kilburn and be like, "Yo, can you pick me up at the airport?"
Yeah. One of the Jeremys is who
yes.
we refer to him as. But what is your local scene like?
My local scene is more of build what you can. Like it's not like all comp. It's more who can build the coolest truck that can just go over every single obstacle. So everybody's running like a class 3 or
really?
Or they're just like, super wide, tiny bodies, or they're running trucks that are super lifted mud trucks. It's just,
yeah.
That's the scene here.
Okay. That makes sense. That's we do have a lot of that like tiny bot, slammed wide capper axle set up here, and those guys are usually guys that they're just out there kind of line running. Rarely ever are they going to do a comp. Usually those trucks aren't super comp. They're too wide generally, things like that, but they have a cool look to them. But yeah, that's a pretty eclectic sounding local
but
scene.
That's like a good majority of everybody, because they could just buy whatever they want and be like, oh, that just looks cool, let me put it on my truck and run it. Those guys are just enjoying the hobby, and they're just loving life at that point. Nothing really truly dedicated. Then you do have your scale guys, your dollhouse, or I also call them the train guys, because
foamers,
those static model guys, once they start getting into this RC class 0 dollhouse build stuff, I'm out of work. Like those guys are going to just completely destroy me with the things that they do. Like they're talking paintbrush dotting eyes on something like super tiny. Like I'm out. Like you got me. But those guys, those are also a nice crowd. They're cool to hang out with.
Matt checks in with 6 minutes left, but thanks, Matt. I hope you're enjoying your trip so far. How is like the size of your local scene? You got like a pretty decent crowd.
Oh yeah. I'm the head of the Tampa Bay RC Club, and we've been growing it for many years now. And it's everything. So we got drones, we have airplanes, like the whole community of everything RC related is all in the club. Everywhere. And this club reaches out to the Central Florida Club down to South Florida. Like we all coexist, which is pretty cool. So like we can meet up, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you don't hear about that very often. Like as far as like that mixed of a club.
Yeah.
it's it seems like out here, especially out here, everybody's got a problem with everyone else, and there'll be 5 groups of the same thing that are like, it's like, you guys all just want to be in your own group though, huh? Like, whatever.
I mean, everybody's got their cliques, but everybody still represents where they're from. It's like, you sound like you got like the Bloods and Crips hanging out with, with your crawler guys. I mean, we're Florida crackers. I mean, that's like, that's it. Like, we're just love for each other.
That actually
really
sounds like a great time. So, and I guess you're all being Tampa Bay. You're pretty close to the Freedom Factory area, aren't you?
The what?
Freedom. Oh, God. Never mind.
Freedom Factory?
Yeah, never mind.
Why?
Not a YouTube. Just other YouTube places. It's fine.
I just work here.
Yeah. The fly guys are pretty grounded. Go fast guys are a little fighty. That's I guess that's pretty similar around here. Probably I've met some really although I think the helicopter guys, those are the guys you got to watch out for the most. Those guys are pretty twitchy. But well, we have 4 minutes left or so. Are you an F1 fan? I can't imagine so.
Do I follow it? No. But do I love watching the races in person? Yes.
Oh,
we have the St. Pete Grand Prix, so I get to see it in person.
Good flex. I like that. I'll take that. That's pretty rad.
I mean, I actually get to sit, stand with the drivers, sit in their cars. I do stuff that you can't do.
I know. Like, okay, I'll take that. That passes. I'm on board. Tip of the hat. Yes. So everyone else lucked out of F1 talk. It's fine. That everyone else is happy to hear that as well. Robert, don't worry. So, we usually discuss F1 the last 15 minutes and everyone leaves. So we don't
really? No, not this time, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, point for Robert.
To talk about.
Well, I'm glad that you were available on the short notice.
Yes. Glad I can help.
Yeah.
Glad I could be here. But since we only have a few minutes left, you still have one thing to do.
You know what? I can't remember what it might be.
No? You got to say Scale Rat's the best.
Ooh, you see, Nicole said before we started this, you got to do that thing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna officially avoid it this whole time. I'm not going to say it once.
I know. I've been waiting. Why do you think I waited to the last few minutes? Okay. I'm like, you thought bringing me on, we'll go ahead. Nah, don't worry. Bygones be bygones.
No. Nope. Still there.
No.
Not until you've watched Flying Cars.
Well, once I watch it, then you have to re-invite me, and then we have
that's the rule.
Then you're gonna push my re-invite back for a good amount of time. I already know the game. It's cool.
You know what? No, see, now the thing is like, Rich was at Axial, of course, all that. They'd get a release. Like, oh, good time to have a guest on. So now you just have to release some stuff that is either, you have 2 avenues. A release that's cool, or one that goes the other way. Because one may be even more exciting to invite you back for than the other.
No, that's not true. You see how much like these people in the chat room were enjoyed beating me up right along with you?
Oh, no, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, either way. I'll take the hits.
We'll enjoy that side just as much.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Age Media, Scale Rat's the best.
There it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Tom Bank as well. Scale Rat's the best.
Thank you for the love, guys. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for popping on, Reza. Like, I'm happy that we got to give you a bunch of crap for the.
Yeah,
for the
it works.
Congratulations for the new job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That it's I'm sure that'll be good for both sides. You know,
Yeah.
that's for you being there, getting to have some say. Everyone should hopefully enjoy even better products then. Hopefully better names.
It's always been a great product. We're just going to make some changes.
Oh, I agree. I'm enjoyed
staying
it
employed. Thanks.
Yeah. It's you got lots of opportunity there for sure.
Yes.
You got it. It's gonna be awesome. We'll have you back for sure, especially when
All
Matt's here and he can also then.
Let's do it.
Good stuff. I appreciate it, Robert.
Later.
Talk to you later. Thanks, everybody. We'll call that the night for now, 8 o'clock. So we did it right then. Thanks, Robert, for joining us. Officially got JConcepts on the show. That was the check mark. Made it happen. So hit the like button on your guys' way out. Matt will be back next week, and I'll be here for it as well. So thanks, everybody, for joining. Call that the end of it. We'll see you guys next time.